big feeding right now, where we have just like a truckload of meat that we're tossing in and feeding all the rescue alligators over here. So you can see it is just a literal feeding frenzy going on behind me. Really, really cool. Really, really awesome.
In the state of Florida, there is an estimated 1.4 to 2 million American alligators. Although many people fear these reptiles, they're actually pretty shy and avoid human contact. They really don't want anything to do with people. Alligator-related injuries are extremely rare, but what increases a person's chance of getting attacked by an alligator is when you feed them. What happens when you feed a duck? Does the duck go away or does it come back and bring its friends? Well, it's kind of the same concept. When you feed an alligator, it learns to associate people with food. This can become an extremely dangerous situation. Although it may be cute when a little 3-foot alligator approaches you looking for a handout, it's not so cute when an 11-foot alligator approaches you. It can become an extremely dangerous and even deadly situation. And this is why it's illegal to feed alligators in the state of Florida. For today's video, we're going to be feeding a bunch of alligators, but it's really important to recognize and understand that these alligators are in captivity. They live at the sanctuary and they are non-releasable animals, so they're never going to be put back into the wild. And if this still isn't enough to convince you, I'm going to give you the ultimate guilt trip. If you decide to feed an alligator and the state labels it as a dangerous or a nuisance animal, the state will send out a trapper and the trapper will most likely kill the alligator. Last year alone, the state of Florida killed over 8,000 alligators that were deemed dangerous. So please, don't feed alligators. It's just not a good idea. All of the alligators at the sanctuary get plenty of food, but by going into the enclosure to feed the alligators, we can specifically target alligators that maybe are a little bit skinnier than some of the other ones. Remember, all of the alligators at the sanctuary are rescued nuisance alligators, so they're from the wild. Sometimes in the wild, being an alligator is pretty tough. We get some alligators that are basically skin and bones. They're extremely emaciated. So, like this little guy, Harold, who's a little bit skinnier, we can go in and power feed him and give him some extra TLC. So there's a skinny guy right over there. We're gonna try to give him this piece of chicken. I don't know if he's gonna take it. He might be afraid of us, but we're gonna at least try.
No, he seemed to like that, huh?
Yeah, well, he took it and ran, but hopefully he's able to eat it and somebody doesn't steal it from him. That's a big alligator, huh?
Where you going, dude?
Food's over here.
Oh, he's going somewhere. We're feeding all the alligators right now, but I like to try to feed some of the skinnier guys selectively. So I've got a whole chicken right here that I'm gonna give to my buddy Flacco. This is a gator I've worked with for years, but he's actually missing his eye on one side and then blind on the other side. So when we do these feedings, he's at a disadvantage, and that's how we got the name Flacco, which is Spanish for skinny. So let me give him a piece. Flacco. So he's one of my habituated alligators I've worked with for years. As you can see, I can see here, squat right over him. See here, he's nice, he's chill. Again, I've worked with him for years. So let's give him another piece because he just downed that one. There you go. Look at that boy, huh? You can see the jaw muscles popping when he flexes down and he actually bites down. Really, really impressive. Really awesome. What you got?
an alligator tooth.
Ah.
So this is a tooth cap from an alligator. Alligators cycle through several thousand of these in their lifetime, and they just shed off the very tip. If you look, the tooth is actually hollow, and there's a tooth in there pushing this one out. So as soon as they lose this one, there will be another one ready to take its place. The entire tooth with the root and everything is probably about, would you say like that? Like that.
Probably bigger. That's
bigger,
a decent sized cap.
This is. So this is probably from 7-8 foot alligator, would you say?
Yeah.
The teeth could be really, really tiny, or they could be like pretty big. But this is a decent size.
It's deceptive when you find a cap like that too, because it looks like, oh, that's a small gator tooth, but that's because it's a shed tooth. Yeah. When you see somebody wearing an alligator tooth necklace, they're wearing teeth from a dead alligator, so it has the whole root. So that one on a necklace would be like that.
Another thing to notice about the tooth, it's not pointy. So alligator teeth are actually not sharp. Their teeth are designed more like a fork to hold their prey in place. They have such crushing force that it holds their food, and then they can roll and death roll and rip it apart, whatever they need to do. But it definitely does hurt when it bites down with force.
Yeah.
The amazing thing about alligators is their incredible ability to heal. So we've seen alligators missing 2 legs, even 3 legs, and half of their tail. We've seen alligators missing half of their face, like the one that's in this video, and they can still survive and thrive even in the wild.
There you go. If you guys can see, this alligator is actually missing both of his front arms. See him moving his little nub right there? So both his front arms are gone, and yet here he is. He actually looks pretty healthy. He's doing all right. So I'm trying to turn around. He's relatively mobile for having no front arms. So alligators are incredible survivors. They're able to sustain massive injuries like that and still be able to survive. I've actually seen an alligator with only 1 leg left. So he's doing okay comparatively. Not a fun time, but these are the kind of things that do happen in the wild, and being an alligator is not an easy job, okay? That was most likely inflicted, almost certainly inflicted by a larger alligator. Probably when he was younger too. You can see it's very well healed. So another gator in here that I trained is Octo, and some of you guys, if you watch the show Gator Boys, you'll recognize the Octogator. He's a little bit bigger now. He's sitting right there. Octo. 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 He's not feeling very motivated though. Octo.
He's trying.
Octo. You can see him react to the name, yeah. And he's like, oh, I'm so full.
Yeah.
Octo. Come on. We'll give it to Flacco. Look, he's still hungry.
It's impressive that he finds that meat that easy though.
Yeah.
Something really cool to notice is that the alligators are being pretty gentle. A lot of people think that these guys are ravenous monsters that are just going to tear anything they find to shreds, but you can see for yourself they're pretty gentle with their food. You would expect arms and legs to be ripped off, you would expect a giant bloodbath, but instead they carefully pick up which piece they want to eat, and even if they accidentally grab another's arm, it's very gently and they let it go immediately. Alligators don't get enough credit. They're very smart animals, not exactly the bloodthirsty monsters that people are expecting.